MGF 1106 Final Exam Review. We're dealing with conversions, Chapter 8 in our textbook. We are dealing with converting fluid ounces to quarts and pints to liters. I'm going to have two different videos depending on which technique you're using to solve. This first version is proportions. We will have a second video with dimensional analysis. Please choose whichever video goes along with the way that your instructor taught you. You will get the same answer with both techniques. They're just a different version of how to solve. For number 43, we're doing fluid ounces to quarts. So looking up at our units, we're looking for fluid ounces to quarts, which is going to be over here. 1 quart equals 32 fluid ounces. 1 quart equals 32 fluid ounces. That's my conversion factor. Now I look at the problem. We have 48 fluid ounces. The fluid ounces are in the denominator. We want the quarts, which is going to be on the numerator. We now cross multiply. 1 times 48 is 48. 32 times x. Going to divide both sides by 32. 48 divided by 32 gives us 1.5 quarts. Did not need to round this problem. That is my answer. Going to number 44, we're dealing with pints to liters. 2 pints equals 0.95 liters is the conversion factor we are using. 2 pints, 0.95 liters. We're given 4 pints, and we want to know how many liters, so we're going to cross multiply. 2x. We're going to multiply 4 times 4 times 0.95. which gives us 3.8. Divide 3.8 by 2. Again, we're not having to round anything here. It's the nearest tenths place. Please check the directions, though, if it asks you to round. So my answer for number 44 is 1.9 liters. Units are very important to label. Please check how you're asked to round, if any are in the directions. This is again with proportions. There will be another video at the same two problems using dimensional analysis. MGF 1106 Final Exam Review. 47 through 49, we will do it 2 techniques. One will be using proportions. One of them will be using dimensional analysis. Please use the video that corresponds with the way that you learned in your course. This video will be using proportions to solve. No matter which technique you're using, the first step you need to do on these first 2 problems is we're dealing with squared units. So you have to have 1 yard equals 3 feet memorized. And then we are going to square both sides to get the conversion factor we need. 1 squared is 1. 3 squared is 9. So the conversion factor we will be using for 47 and 48 is 1 yard squared equals 9 feet squared. For proportions, it does not matter on your first step which one you decide to put on top. But whatever you choose, that is how it has to continue. So I've chosen to put 1 yard squared over 9 feet squared. So the 11 yards squared has to go in the numerator. We want squared feet, which has to be in the denominator. We are going to cross multiply. 1 times x is x. 9 times 11 is 99. My units that I was getting are feet squared. No rounding involved. That is my answer. Going to number 48, the conversion factor is still the same. 1 yard squared equals 9 feet squared. The difference here is what is given to us. We are given the 81 feet squared. The feet squared is in the bottom, so we put the 81 here. We want the yard squared, so we put those in the numerator. We will cross multiply. 1 times 81 is 81. 9 times x is 9x. Divide both sides by 9. X equals 9. And again, in this case, yards squared are my units that I want. You have to use the conversion factor of yards squared to feet squared to do this problem. Going to number 49, we're dealing with meters cubed to centimeters cubed. Again, metric all starts with you knowing the order. If you look back at your order, meters to centimeters is 2 places to the right, which gives you a conversion factor of 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. We are dealing with cubic units here, so we need to cube both sides. 1 raised to any power is 1. 100 cubed basically means we have 2 zeros here. Squaring it would add 2 more zeros. Cubing it means we're going to add 2 more zeros on top of that. So if you look back at this number, we now have 1,000,000 centimeters cubed. We multiplied 100 times 100 times 100. This is my conversion factor. Using proportions, 1 meter cubed equals 1,000,000 centimeters cubed. The 7.4 goes in the numerator because that's the meters cubed. We don't know the centimeters cubed. Cross multiply. We have 7.4 times 1,000,000. Again, you can check this in your calculator, but basically when we're multiplying here, it basically gets rid of one of the zeros here with the decimal place. So we're going to have 7,400,000 centimeters cubed. This is again using proportions. There's another video using dimensional analysis. You will get the same answer for both, and you will have to still start the problems the same way, getting the conversion factor in squared units or cubic units. That has to be step 1.